Pompeii is silent now. You walk through streets that haven't heard footsteps in nearly 2,000 years. The ruins stretch around you, frozen mid-sentence. A loaf of bread, carbonized, still sits on a counter. Graffiti covers walls, declarations of love, political slogans, crude jokes. The imprint of a dog, forever straining against a chain it will never break. This city died so fast that it never had time to disappear. You stand in the Forum, surrounded by broken columns and absent roofs, and you try to imagine it alive. You can't. The silence is too complete, the death too absolute. Close your eyes. When you open them, the silence shatters into sound. The Forum is packed. Voices echo off marble, thousands of conversations happening at once in Latin, Greek, Oscan, a dozen languages you don't recognize. The smell hits you. Humanity compressed, mixed with the salt of the sea just a mile away, the sweetness of fruit from the market stalls, the acrid tang of fulling workshops, where urine is used to clean expensive togas. It's August 24th, 79 AD. Midday. The sun is merciless, reflecting off white marble until everything glows. And above it all, rising over the city like a sleeping god, Vesuvius. Green slopes covered in vineyards, peaceful, beautiful. The mountain that gives Pompeii its wealth, its fertile soil, its protection from the worst winds. No one here knows what it really is. The word volcano doesn't exist yet. The concept is unknown. Vesuvius is just a mountain. For now. You're standing near the Temple of Jupiter, its massive columns casting shadows that provide the only relief from the heat. You're a merchant, moderately successful with a small shop selling garum, that fermented fish sauce Romans put on everything. You've lived in Pompeii for 15 years. You know these streets. You know these people. This is home. Your wife, Livia, is at the house with your 2 children, Marcus, age 10, Julia, age 7. You'll see them for the midday meal soon. But first, business. A potential buyer for 3 amphorae of premium garum. The good stuff, aged 6 months, made from Spanish mackerel. It sells for more than most people here earn in a month. The Forum is chaos. Senators in white togas argue politics near the basilica. Slaves carrying goods weave through the crowd with practiced efficiency. A street vendor shouts about fresh bread, his voice competing with a dozen others. Children run between the columns, playing some game that involves a lot of screaming and laughter. An old woman sits in the shade, selling lucky charms and amulets to anyone gullible enough to buy them. You notice the dogs first. 3 of them, usually lazy in the heat, are agitated, whining, pacing. One barks at nothing, its hackles raised. Strange. Then you notice the birds, the pigeons that usually cluster around the temple, fighting for scraps. They're gone, all of them. The sky is empty. Something shifts beneath your feet. Subtle, a tremor, barely noticeable, like a loaded cart passing on the street outside. Conversations pause. People look around, uncertain. Then it passes. Everyone relaxes. Earthquakes are normal here. There was a big one 17 years ago that damaged half the city. They rebuilt. They always rebuild. This is Pompeii. This is home. Except this tremor is different. You just don't know it yet. The potential buyer arrives. A wealthy man from Nuceria, rings on every finger, slaves trailing behind carrying his money chest. You walk him to your warehouse, just off the Forum. Show him the amphorae, let him taste the garum. He wrinkles his nose at the smell. Everyone does at first, then tastes it. His eyes widen. This is quality. You know it. He knows it. The negotiation is a dance you've done 100 times. While you're discussing price, another tremor. Stronger this time. The amphorae rattle against each other, a sound like distant thunder. Dust falls from the ceiling beams. The buyer looks nervous. You smile, wave it off. Earthquakes, you say. Normal. Been happening all week. Nothing to worry about. You're lying. They haven't been happening all week. This is new. But you need this sale. He decides to think about it. We'll return tomorrow. You nod, disappointed but not surprised. Tomorrow. There's always tomorrow in Pompeii. The city has stood for centuries. It will stand for centuries more. You leave the warehouse and head home for the midday meal. The streets are narrower here, away from the Forum. 5-story insulae block out the sun. Laundry hangs between windows. The smell changes. Cooking food, human waste, the ever-present fish sauce. A normal Pompeii afternoon. Your house is modest but comfortable. An atrium with a small impluvium pool catching rainwater. Frescoes on the walls showing scenes from mythology. Your wife's touch. She insisted on the paintings when you bought the house. Too expensive, you said. We'll never sell it for what we paid. She ignored. You. She was right to ignore you. Livia is in the kitchen with the slave girl, Claudia. They're preparing the meal. Bread, olives, cheese, some garum-flavored fish. Simple but good. Marcus and Julia are in the atrium, the boy teaching his sister to count using colored stones. The scene is so ordinary, so perfect, that your throat tightens. This is what you work for. This moment, this family, this life. You eat together in the triclinium, reclining on couches the way proper Romans do. Marcus talks about his lessons with the grammaticus. He's learning Greek, struggling with it. Julia just wants to play. She's too young to care about education. You listen, half present, your mind still on the sale that didn't happen. Another tremor. The lamps swing. Water sloshes in the impluvium. Livia looks at you, concerned now. It's happening more often, she says. Maybe we should leave the city for a few days. Visit your brother in Stabii. You consider it, but Stabii is 5 miles away. The roads are crowded this time of year, and you have business. That buyer might return. Opportunities don't wait. Tomorrow, you say. If it continues tomorrow, we'll leave. Livia doesn't look convinced, but she nods. She trusts you. You've kept this family safe for 15 years. Fed, housed, secure. Why would today be different? You return to the Forum in the afternoon. The crowd has thinned slightly. The heat is building, that peculiar August heat that makes even breathing feel like work. The mountain looms over everything, green and perfect against the blue sky. You've looked at that mountain every day for 15 years. It's as familiar as your own hands. You don't notice that the green is wrong, yellower than it should be. The vines are wilting, animals have fled the slopes. You don't notice because you've never seen a volcano about to erupt. No living Roman has. Around 3 in the afternoon, it happens. The ground doesn't just shake. It convulses. A deep, rumbling roar that seems to come from the center of the earth itself. People stumble, fall. A column in the temple of Jupiter cracks, the sound like a giant's bone breaking. Screaming starts. Not panic yet, but fear. Real fear. You grab onto a wall to stay upright. The shaking goes on, 10 seconds, 20, an eternity. Then it stops. Silence. Absolute silence. 50,000 people holding their breath. Then someone points. Look, the mountain. You turn, and your blood turns to ice. Vesuvius has changed. The top of the mountain, it's gone. Just gone. In its place, rising into the sky like a pillar holding up the heavens, is a cloud. But calling it a cloud is like calling the ocean a puddle. It's enormous. Growing. Black at the base, white at the top, spreading out like a Mediterranean pine tree. It rises miles into the sky, impossibly high, impossibly fast. And it's beautiful. Terrifyingly, hypnotically beautiful. No one knows what they're looking at. There's no frame of reference. No stories of mountains exploding. No warnings passed down through generations. You stand there with thousands of others, watching this impossible thing grow and spread and blot out the sun. And you have no idea what it means. Then the sound reaches you. A roar so deep and loud it's not really sound anymore. It's pressure. It's force. It shakes your chest, your bones, your teeth. Windows shatter. Roof tiles crack and fall. And still the column rises, higher and higher, until it seems to touch the gods themselves. The sky is darkening. The cloud is spreading, blocking the sun. It's only 4 in the afternoon, but it looks like dusk. People are running now, not away from the mountain. Where would they go? Just running. Panic without direction. Some flee into buildings, some run toward the harbor, some stand frozen, watching. You run home. The streets are chaos. People screaming, crying, praying to gods who aren't listening. A woman clutches a household shrine, the small bronze figures of her Lares, begging them for protection. A man leads his family, pulling his children by their hands, heading for the gates. Smart man. You should follow him. But you run home. Livia is in the atrium with the children. Claudia is there too, terrified, looking to you for answers you don't have. Marcus is trying to be brave. Julia is crying. Livia's face is pale but controlled. What do we do? You look around your house, your beautiful house with its frescoes and its impluvium and its memories. Everything you've worked for, everything you are. We leave, you say. Now, take nothing but water and food. We go to Stabii, to the coast, away from the mountain. Livia nods. She starts grabbing things, bread, a water skin, blankets. You stop her? No blankets, just food and water. We need to move fast. The ground shakes again, stronger than before. Plaster cracks and falls from the ceiling. A fresco of Bacchus splits down the middle. The god of wine, broken. An omen you don't want to interpret. You leave through the front door and immediately understand how bad this is. The sky is dark now, not night dark. Something else. The cloud from Vesuvius has spread across the entire sky, blotting out the sun completely. It's barely 5 in the afternoon, and you can't see more than a few feet without torchlight. And it's raining, but not water. Ash. White, hot ash falling like snow. It's already accumulating on the streets, on rooftops, on people's shoulders. You brush it off Julia's hair, and it's warm, gritty. Your daughter looks up at you with eyes too scared for a 7-year-old. We'll be fine, you lie. It's just ash. We'll walk to Stabii, and this will all be over by tomorrow. The streets toward the Stabian gate are packed. Everyone has the same idea. Get out. Get away. The crowd moves slowly, shuffling, stumbling in the dark and the falling ash. People carry whatever they grabbed, jewelry, money, household gods. One woman has a cage with birds. The birds are already dead, suffocated by the ash. The ash is falling faster now, thicker. It's getting hard to breathe. You tell everyone to cover their faces with cloth. Livia tears strips from her stola. You tie them around the children's faces, around your own. It helps, but not enough. Each breath brings ash into your lungs. You can taste it, gritty and chemical. Something falls from the sky. Not ash, something solid. It hits the street near you with a crack. A rock, pumice, light, porous, the size of your fist, still hot. Another falls, another. Like deadly hail, the mountain is throwing rocks at you. The crowd surges forward. Someone falls. The person behind trips over them. More fall. You grab Marcus and Julia, pull them close, shield them with your body as pumice rains down. A stone hits your shoulder. The pain is sharp, immediate. You feel blood, warm and wet, mixing with the ash. Keep moving. You have to keep moving. If you stop, you'll be trampled. If you're trampled, you'll die. Here in the street, buried under ash and stones and the bodies of your neighbors. The Stabian gate is ahead. You can see torches, guards trying to maintain order. But the gate is narrow. Designed for carts and foot traffic, not for thousands of people fleeing at once. The crowd compresses. You're pressed against strangers, suffocating in the crush of humanity and falling ash and darkness. Julia is crying. You can barely hear her over the roar of the mountain and the screaming of the crowd. Livia is holding Marcus, her face set in that expression you know means she's past fear and into pure determination. Survive. Protect the children. Nothing else matters. A building collapses behind you. The weight of the ash is too much for the roof. It pancakes down with a roar of breaking wood and stone. Dust and ash billow out, adding to the choking air. People scream. The crowd surges again. You're lifted off your feet, carried forward by the press of bodies. You make it through the gate. Outside the walls, the crowd spreads out slightly. The pressure eases. You can breathe again, or what passes for breathing in this ash-choked air. You look back at Pompeii. The city is disappearing. Rooftops are barely visible above the accumulating ash. The streets you've walked for 15 years are gone, buried under white powder that keeps falling, keeps building. The mountain is a black silhouette against an even blacker sky, the cloud above it spreading like a malignant growth. Lightning flashes inside the cloud, volcanic lightning, though you don't know to call it that. It looks like the gods are at war. Maybe they are. You head south, toward Stabii, following the coast road. Others have the same idea. The road is a river of refugees. Old people struggling to keep up. Parents carrying children. Slaves carrying their master's possessions. Everyone covered in white ash, ghost-like in the darkness. The pumice follows you. Lighter here, less intense, but still falling. Each stone that hits is a reminder that the mountain isn't done. Not even close. Julia collapses. Just sits down in the road, too tired to go on. You pick her up. She weighs nothing, but you're so weak. The ash, the fear, the exertion. It's taking everything you have. Marcus takes your hand. Livia supports Claudia, who's sobbing uncontrollably, mile after mile. The road seems endless. Your lungs are burning. Every breath is agony. The cloth over your face is caked with ash. You can't see more than a few feet. The torches people carried have mostly gone out, smothered by ash or dropped in exhaustion. You're walking through hell, a darkness so complete it feels solid. Ash falling like the sky itself is disintegrating. The constant roar of Vesuvius, the screaming, always the screaming. People calling for lost family members, children crying for parents, parents crying for children. Someone grabs your arm, an old man, covered in ash, eyes wild. "Help me," he begs. "I can't find my wife. Please." You shake him off. You have to. You can't help everyone. You can barely help yourself. The old man stumbles away into the darkness. You never see him again. Hours pass, or maybe minutes. Time has lost meaning. There's only the next step, the next breath. The mountain behind you, still roaring, still raining death. You don't look back anymore. You can't bear to. Dawn should be coming. It has to be close to dawn. But the darkness doesn't lift. The ash doesn't stop. If anything, it's worse, heavier. The pumice is larger now, the size of eggs. Some the size of your fist. They hit harder, hurt more. Marcus stumbles. You catch him. He's exhausted. They all are. You find a small outcropping of rock, some protection from the falling pumice. You huddle there, the five of you, pressed together. Livia's voice is hoarse. We should pray. You nod. She prays to Juno, to Venus, to Jupiter himself. You pray too, though you're not sure anyone is listening. If the gods exist, they're not interested in Pompeii today. Rest, you say? Just a few minutes. Then we keep going. But even as you say it, you know. You can feel it. The ash is piling up around you. Soon it will be too deep to walk through. Soon you'll be trapped. You should have left earlier. Should have listened to Livia. Should have grabbed the children the moment the first tremor hit and run. But you stayed. Because business. Because tomorrow. Because Pompeii was home. And home was supposed to be safe. Julia falls asleep in your arms. Or maybe she's unconscious. You can't tell. Marcus leans against Livia, his breathing shallow. Claudia has stopped sobbing. She's just staring into the darkness, her mind gone somewhere you can't follow. The pumice keeps falling, the ash keeps rising. You're buried to your knees now. The weight is incredible. You try to stand, to dig out, but every movement brings more ash cascading down. Livia meets your eyes. She knows. You both know. This is it. This is where your story ends. Not in old age surrounded by grandchildren, not in some distant future. Here, now, in the darkness and the ash and the roar of a mountain that decided to wake up and destroy everything you love. I'm sorry, you say. Your voice cracks. I should have gotten us out. She takes your hand. Her grip is weak. It's not your fault. No one knew. And that's true. No one knew. How could they? Vesuvius had been sleeping for 1,000 years, maybe more. It was just a mountain, beautiful, peaceful, giving life to the land around it, until it decided to give death instead. The darkness is complete now. You can't see your own hands, can't see your family, though you feel them pressed against you. The ash is to your waist. The weight is crushing. Your lungs are failing, each breath bringing in more ash than air. You think about your life. 15 years in Pompeii. Good years, happy years. You built something here. A business, a family, a home. And in less than 12 hours, it's all gone. Buried, erased. You think about the buyers you'll never meet. The garum that will rot in its amphorae under tons of ash. The house with its frescoes, the paintings Livia loved, crushed under the weight of the mountain's fury. You think about Marcus and Julia and the lives they'll never live, the grandchildren you'll never meet, the future that just stops. Here. Now. The ash reaches your chest. You can barely move. Livia's hand goes slack in yours. You squeeze it, desperate, but there's no response. She's gone. Slipped away quietly while you were lost in thought. No. No. You try to shake her, to wake her. But you're too weak. The ash is too heavy. And she's gone. Marcus. You call his name. Nothing. Julia. Nothing. They're still in your arms, but they're not there anymore. You're holding empty shells. The people you loved, the people you tried to protect. They're gone. You're alone. The ash covers your shoulders, your neck. You tilt your head back, trying to find one more breath, one more moment. The darkness is absolute. The silence beneath the roar is deafening. Your last thought is of the morning, how the sun looked rising over Vesuvius, how beautiful it was, how peaceful, how wrong you were. The ash covers your face, fills your mouth, your nose, your lungs, and you stop. The mountain keeps erupting. For 2 days, it throws ash and pumice and death across the land. Pompeii is buried under 20 feet of volcanic debris. Herculaneum is sealed in pyroclastic flows, superheated gas and rock moving faster than anything alive can run from. 15,000 people die. Maybe more. No one knows exactly. No one can count the dead when they're buried under a city's worth of ash. The survivors straggle away. They don't return. Can't return. There's nothing to return to. Pompeii is gone. Erased. Within a generation, its exact location is forgotten. It becomes a story, a legend. The city that vanished in a day. For 1,700 years, it sleeps, under the ash, perfectly preserved, a snapshot of a moment. August 24th, 79 AD. The day the world ended for 15,000 people. Then they find it. Archaeologists, treasure hunters, tourists. They dig down through the ash, and there you are. Still there. Still holding your children. Still frozen in the moment of your death. They make casts of the voids your bodies left in the ash. They put you in museums. Behind glass. A family from Pompeii. A merchant and his wife and their children and their slave. Trying to escape. Didn't make it. People photograph you, study you, wonder about you. Who were you? What were your lives like? Did you suffer? Yes. You suffered. In those last hours, you suffered more than anyone should. But you also loved. You tried. You fought to save your family until the very last breath. And now, 2,000 years later, your story is told. Your death means something. You're not forgotten. Close your eyes now. When you open them, you're back in the ruins, the silent streets, the empty forum, the mountain green again, peaceful again, sleeping again. But you know now. You know what it sounded like when the world ended, what it smelled like, what it felt like to watch everything you love disappear under ash. Vesuvius is still there, still sleeping. But it will wake again someday. It always does. And when it does, another generation will learn what you learned that terrible August day. That home isn't always safe. That mountains can kill. That everything you build, everything you love, can disappear in a single afternoon. The stones of Pompeii remember. The ash remembers. The mountain remembers. And now, so do you.